Welcome! Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Shock!
Halt!
Engraving videos.
Yep.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's
Same old
happening?
stuff, man.
Good deal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We have the great Engraving Videos team hashtag Keep It Clean here with us, man, as we chop it up with him upon the Titans and Ravens game coming up this Sunday. As you all know, this is a heated rivalry. We are here. We've been waiting for this game. Two battered teams playing each other. Somebody's got to come up with the win, man. Somebody.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, once again, man, hey, Ingraven, we really appreciate you, brother, coming on to the show and at least giving us a shot to, hey, just come see what we about, man. And I'm a big fan of your show, dog. I've seen a couple of your videos, so just the hashtag team Keep It Clean. We here, and hey, it's gonna be a good game, man. A good game. And it's like Hawk said, man. It's two battered teams that are not the same teams like they were last year coming into this game with new people, new players, injured players. So hey, let's get to it, man.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about it.
Yes, sir. Well, for those who have never subscribed to watch the channel, his channel is dope. Seriously.
Right.
Engraving, if you want to talk about your podcast and everything.
Oh, I appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all having me on too. My channel is Ingraven VIDS. I'm a Ravens fan, but on the channel we just talk football just in general, and have a good time doing it. On the channel's team Keep It Clean. That means everybody is welcome. We keep it clean on there. We don't do any cursing. Anything is family friendly, so everybody is welcome. Young, old, husband, wife, mothers, daughter, father, son, everybody. So yeah, and like I said, we have a good time. That's the biggest thing, is just having a good time and positive vibes. So you're more than welcome to subscribe. The channel is Engraving Vids. The Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff is Engraving Vids. So I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So to all the fans and subscribers on the channel watching the show, man, hey, we appreciate it. What's going on, Jeremiah Robinson? What's happening?
LP,
what's good, homie? What's happening to you? What's happening? Zach Carpenter, what's good? What's happening? We also got Tennessee Titans Logic in the house. All right.
Shout out, tighten up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So first, I want to ask a few questions here, man, to get this thing started. As we know, the Titans play the Ravens. Again, both teams are coming in 6-3. If the playoffs started today, the Ravens actually would be in the playoffs, and we'd be on the outside looking in. As we know, as the season goes along, man, there's going to be wins and losses throughout. Somebody's got to win and lose this game as well, too. So, Engraving Videos, I want to ask you first, sir, as far as this game. So, how do you feel as far as the Ravens? How do you think the Ravens could win against the Tennessee Titans?
They would just need to stop Derrick Henry. And I'm sure y'all probably tired of hearing people say that when it comes to playing the Titans, but that's what they would need to do. And that's probably one of my biggest fears in this game is Derrick Henry. Because right now, Calais Campbell, who the Ravens got like specifically for a game like this, and Brandon Williams, who's been on the team, and when he's out, the Ravens run defense it goes bad quick. Both of those two still haven't practiced yet this week. Well, Brandon Williams, he's going to be out this week, so that's already pretty much a guarantee out. But Calais Campbell is like, we still hoping that he plays, but he hasn't practiced all week. So the thing that worries me with that is that even if he does play, I feel like he won't be 100%. So I just feel like he's going to miss this game too. And y'all saw the game last week with the against the Patriots, and Harris was he just dogged us, man. He ran all over us, and Harris is obviously not on Derrick Henry's level. So I'm worried about that, because I know with Derrick Henry, he's a very patient runner. But once he gets going, he gets going. So like with somebody out in the open field with Derrick Henry, it's probably not going to end well for them. But for the Ravens to win this game, that's where it all starts. It starts with stopping Derrick Henry. And if you can stop Derrick Henry, that can help out the team so much, because Ryan Tannehill, what is he, like 20-3, I think, 20 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. So he's not turning the ball over. And Ryan Tannehill, especially ever since he's been with the Titans, Derrick Henry's numbers have went up, and his numbers have of course went up too. But he is extremely efficient, and he doesn't turn the ball over. He may not be throwing for like 250, 300 yards, but with the yards that he does throw for, he makes them count. So with Ryan Tannehill, the thing that the Ravens would need to stop and be weary of would be the play action. So that's why you got to stop Derrick Henry, so you don't have to worry about that play action. Because if you start keying in on Derrick Henry and you start selling out for the run, that's when the Titans could hit you. They could hit you with the play action, man. So that's something that's going to be a very big challenge in this game for Ravens defense. Now, on offense, I think the biggest thing for them is just to get and stay in a rhythm. Lamar, over the past couple of weeks, he hasn't been lighting it up yards-wise, but for Ravens fans specifically, they definitely can see a difference and an improvement in his decision-making and just his overall game as a passer from this year alone. Because there have been some struggles. It's been a little rough over there, and especially when you compare it to the season from last year with the Ravens offense, going from what we were to what it is now, it's definitely been a big drop off, and we all sort of expected a drop off. We didn't expect the offense to be number one like they were last year, and then still stay number one in rushing and all that stuff this year too. But we didn't expect it to drop off like this. So with that, for the Ravens to win this game, they're gonna need to just some deep shots. They're not a necessity, but they will certainly help and go a long way. And that's one aspect of the Ravens game. That what's up, Christian? There's that's one aspect of the Ravens game that it would just take their offense to a whole nother level, man. And they've been missing it all season long. I think this whole season we only completed like one deep pass, and that was in week 1. Other than that, and I mean, and there was actually another one in who do we play when they caught one? I think it was against the Steelers, but we haven't been completing many deep passes because I can probably count the number of deep passes we completed on one hand. So that's never a good thing. So that's going to be crucial for the Ravens to win this game. That offense get into a rhythm, and don't let Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill get into a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Right.
So Jeremiah Robinson, he's saying, hey, once again, it's the run game. So, Ja, what do you think, man, as to how we can win this game against the Ravens?
So, INGRAVEN said it, literally. I mean, the Ravens' run defense of late when Brandon Williams and Calais is out, that's an advantage for Derrick, literally. And if we stick to Derrick, okay, the Ravens are that's what they're going to do. Their whole plan is on defense is to stop Derrick Henry. We literally have to rely on Tannehill, and that's something that we've kind of fell off in the past couple of weeks, is relying on Tannehill to win the game for us, right? We know when you ask Tannehill to throw 30 times, it's a 50-50 shot, right? But when it's a balanced offense, we're fine. So to me, we're gonna have to run a balanced offense. A little bit of run, a little bit of pass, play action, mix it up here and there, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to have the Ravens defense get confident. I mean, they still got Humphreys at the corner. They still got Marcus Peters. Mm-hmm. And those are two great corners. And A.J. Brown didn't practice today. I think it's a maintenance day for him. He maybe just took the day off. But we got Corey Davis, I like Corey, man, and I want to resign him, but consistency level is not there sometimes. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. AJ, we know he had a bunch of drops last week, so hopefully this is a game he can come in and make it up. But literally, we have to utilize what we have, and that's utilizing Khalif Raymond. We haven't utilized Khalif Raymond properly this entire year, maybe once or twice in a couple of games. So that's another weapon that the Titans do have. But as INGRAVEN says, the Ravens haven't thrown deep as much. The Titans, in my opinion, and just me, haven't taken a lot of shots downfield. The shots we have, we've made them count with A.J. Brown. Literally, the shots that we've taken downfield, he's been able to catch them, touchdown. But we're not.
No paper.
We're constantly not throwing it downfield either like that. So that's something that I would like to see us take shots downfield. Of course, we know he's blanking on me, man. Earl Thomas is gone, right? So you can kind of challenge that, right? But for us to win this game, we have to be balanced. And something we haven't been doing in the past couple of weeks is a balanced offense, literally. Yep. So let's go in there and be balanced. And once we have a balanced offense, we're good. On defense, the key is do not let Lamar get to the second level. Once he gets to the second level, he's done. He's done, literally. I mean, you're not catching him. I mean, it's slippery. And how our run defense has been of late, it's been okay, but we haven't seen a Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook, yes. Lamar Jackson, no. Me and Hawk has said this. Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback we've seen. We know we've had Michael Vick, yes. But elusiveness, Lamar has that down packed. So with me, something you don't want to happen, and I noticed in the playoff game last year, was Lamar was able to air it out. I think Lamar had 400 some yards that game in the playoffs? Or was it? Yeah,
he had like 500. He had over 500 total.
Exactly. So that's something that we got to pay attention to. Yes, that 31 in passing offense. Yes, but don't let that stat fool you, right? They got Duvernay, who I was a fan of coming out of college, coming out of Texas. He has speed. He's a speedy receiver. I just feel like the Ravens don't use him like they should. And of course, you got Hollywood Brown, right? So that's something that don't think just because they're 31st in passing that it's going to be a cakewalk. Watch the pass, okay? It sounds crazy, Titans fans, I know, but literally watch the pass. So for me, play a balanced offense and defense. The secondary has to tighten up because we know our pass rush right there. So what about you, Hawk?
Michael Rossi, tighten up. I see you, homie. AZ Mick, what's good? Stephen Hoffman, let's go. Let's go. So for me, man, I think, man, in order for us to beat the Ravens, and I really think the recipe is pretty easy to get roasted Ravens for dinner, right? You guys see that, right? We want to eat that after the game. Some roasted Raven from Ravens Flock Restaurant. To me, man, really is pretty simple but difficult, if that makes sense, right? The difficulty is, we have to do it. We have to execute this, and without a defensive coordinator, that's going to be tough. But when you look at our defense against the offense of the Ravens, the offense in Baltimore is pretty simple. Look for Mark Andrews, right? They don't feature Hollywood Brown a lot. I know like when they want to make him the number one receiver, and it's not working out in that regard. I know he wants to become that guy, and it's not happening. Yes, you have Devin Duvernay as well. The tight end Boyle got hurt last game. That was a very bad injury. Saw the whole game. But for us on defense, we actually could play a cover two, allow Lamar Jackson, even on the playoff game, he had 400 or 500 yards at the end of the game, though, is when it started to be because we allowed that to happen. We was like, hey, we're just going to allow the time to keep running out. And that's just what happened. But I think if anything with Lamar Jackson, we're going to test him throwing the football. Can he throw? Yes. But I think he's going to be in a position where he's going to be looking for Mark Andrews as he usually does. When you look at it on offense, when you watch their games, that's his first read. So if we can cover that and making sure that we have players in position to where when he makes those throws, we either make the tackle or we make the interception, we could do pretty well against their offense. Now, I think Baltimore has a better run offense this year than he did last year because they have more options. You got J.K. Dobbins, you also have Mark Ingram, and you also have why is he not ringing a bell? To me, their best running back,
Gus Edwards.
Edwards. I think Gus Edwards is their best runner per se, right? So I think they're going to try to run against the Titans, which is a strength of our defense. That's what we strive on. But our pass defense is what's been struggling. So you have a kind of a struggling offense, passing the football, and a struggling defense at the same time going against each other. So it's going to be a situation where I got to see what happens. Now, yes, Damian Harris looked like Bo Jackson last week for the Patriots. But Raven fans, I will give you this. It was raining really bad in the game, man. It really was. So I don't know whether it's going to play a factor in this game, but the run game is there for us if we want it. This ain't no Damian Harris. This is this man right here. Does Earl Thomas remember that? I'm just saying. I know he's no longer with the Ravens, but the Ravens remember that. So yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. You dirty, man. You playing dirty. You got the roasted Raven, the Derrick Henry shot.
Michael Rossi says we make our quarterbacks look great. Yeah, that's a point.
That's a point. That's a point.
Silk G says since Ray took the ball from Eddie in 01, it's been on like neck bones with the Ravens. That's true. That is true.
Yeah,
that's the game I think that really sparked the rivalry.
It did.
So
he took Eddie. That was there was a one point in time Ray Lewis got the win in that situation, and then Eddie got the win as well too. Right. So yeah, man.
So real quick,
yes,
on the infamous Ray Lewis versus Eddie George play.
Yes.
Was it a good stiff arm or a great tackle?
Good stiff arm. Good stiff arm. Good stiff arm because
question, man.
Ray Lewis made the tackle, like a lot of tackles that happen, right? When I even think Josh Norman got credit for the tackle when he tackled Derrick Henry. He was flying up, I-65. So the stat is there for tackle Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis fell backwards. Eddie George fell forward. So now in the other game, Ray Lewis took out the soul of Eddie George, also to Chris Johnson as well too. So I do know that. But in that situation, Eddie George won that battle.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's
There was
fair.
some great battles back then, man.
Man, hey,
Boy, woo!
yeah, it was
Wow.
some great battles.
Wow.
So great. Let me holler at you. So we know we asked you how the Ravens can win this game. Give me a couple of reasons what you think and how you think the Ravens could lose this game against the Titans.
Okay. The turnovers. That's an easy way to lose any game. It's a turnover battle. If Lamar's throwing interceptions, if that's the biggest thing, I'm not really worried about fumbles, but you never know when a fumble could come about because the running backs, they haven't been having fumbling issues. But a fumble could happen at any given second. So the turnovers, that would be one thing. Like we talked about earlier, not stopping Derrick Henry. If the run defense looks like it looked last week, then yeah, it'll be a big yikes. And then again, the play action. If they getting caught with the play act, like they got caught in the playoff game with the play action because everybody was so focused on Derrick Henry, Tannehill hit him over top. And also too with those trick plays because I be watching. I see the Titans sometimes they throwing some of them little trick plays and whatnot. Those direct snaps to Derrick Henry and whatnot. So. And again, in the playoffs, Derrick Henry even threw a touchdown. He got jealous of Ryan Tannehill throwing all of them. He said, "You know what? Let me get one too." And he threw a touchdown. So it's like you got to watch for all that little sneaky stuff too. And another way for the Ravens to lose this game is if they don't have any heart. If they don't have any heart, because again, the last time that they played the Titans, and I know these are different teams, a lot of players are not there anymore from both teams, but still, this was a recent game. It was a playoff game. So last time that the Titans came into town, they weren't scared. They didn't fear the Ravens at all. They didn't care that they were at M&T Bank Stadium. They came through, and they took over. They took over. I remember some Titans fans sitting right in front of me, just having the time of their life, man. It's all good though, but yeah, for the Ravens to lose, those would be some of the things. Not stopping Derrick Henry and just not playing sound on defense too. If they try to do the arm tackling and whatnot, that's not gonna work. And also pass rush. We got Yannick Ngakoue. We traded for him a couple weeks ago. He hasn't shown up on the stat sheet. He's been getting pressures here and there, but he hasn't shown up on the stat sheet. This would be a great time for him to go off. Put Ryan Tannehill and them in some third and longs and go off. But again, if for the Ravens to lose this game, the pass rush would just have to be absent. So hopefully that's not the case.
Gotcha.
So what about you, Hawk? Same thing. How do you think the Titans can lose this game?
Well, I'll say this. Zach Carpenter was good. Yeah, hit those likes, folks. Hit that like button at the very bottom. Definitely hit that. This is how we can lose the game. King Isaac, you just answered my question. The punter, kicker, and defense is killing us this season. I got to give him a facts, no paper. Definitely. So that is the issue. King Isaac, facts, no paper. So I think, man, looking at it like, as we know, our punter last week had a net average of 35 yards a punt. And he had been packing boxes at FedEx just the previous week. Matter of fact, I saw him coming to my house packing, he had brought something to my house, something I had got for my wife. And I said, "What's going on, Trevor Daniel? How you doing, sir?" Right? So now he's going to be punting again, okay? They ended up putting Allen, the previous punter, they actually signed him today to the practice squad. But they're going to actually go with Trevor Daniel, the guy that struggled. They had a 17-yard punt, which you don't ever see in an NFL game. You see that in Division III college football games, right? So I think, honestly, our offense is good enough to beat the Ravens based on how we're built on offense. Our defense as well could kind of struggle against the Ravens. But, man, I'm still putting on special teams right now, man. I think we don't have a good kickoff punt returner. Khalif Raymond will catch the ball, but he's not a threat. Right now, Stephen Gostkowski, if it's under 50 yards, he's not making it. We're not punting. Our backup punters are struggling. Brett Kern's the best punter in the league, but he's out. And, when I look at the special teams of the Ravens have a pretty good special teams. And so, I think that could be the difference of this game. I think both teams are going to really fight, scratch, and claw to try to win this ball game. And it might come down to schematics of special teams. And that would suck because all season long we struggled on special teams. Our defense has played better over the past few weeks. I'm not sitting there saying they are playoff ready on defense. But my concern is special teams, man. That's for me, man. So, Jacques, what about for you, sir?
So for me, it goes to energy, man. And Graven spoke on it earlier when he said, hey, you got to have heart, right? For us with the Titans, we know it's an energy thing, right? Having that focus, coming out and being focused. We know on paper, literally on paper, you look at the Titans, you're like, man, this is a good team. But we're lacking the leadership. Our leadership is not there. We don't have Dean Pease, right? Vrabel's being stubborn. You promote Trevor Daniels, who is struggling, but you put the punter that was kicking 50-yard punts just a couple of weeks ago on the practice squad. So for me, I feel like the team's energy is just deflated right now. Literally, the energy's not there. And this is a game that you don't want to come in and you don't want to give Baltimore confidence, because right now I feel like Baltimore's energy is down as well. I mean, you got the coaches barking at the players. You got Lamar is with Red Rumpman. So it's one of those things. So both teams' energy is here. And I just feel like the Titans' focus has not been there this year. And I think especially on defense and, like you said, Hawk, special teams. Special teams has not – I mean, last year that was one of our strong suits was last year with special teams. I mean, they won us games last year, literally won us games. And this year they're losing us games, right? So for me, if we don't bring that energy, it can all fall apart like it did last week when we played the Colts. The energy wasn't there. I mean, You have specific players who bring that energy. You got Tannehill, Henry, okay? On defense, you got Big Jeff who brings the energy. Harold Landry sometimes, right? But there's no energy. So for me, I'm an energy guy. If you have energy, you can win a game. Look at it when we lost to the Bengals. Literally, we had the better team. They had the energy. The energy, and they came into the confidence, and they knew, hey, we're going to beat these boys. So with me, if you give the Ravens that confidence, you give Lamar an inch, he's going to take a mile, and they're going to run with it. And then all of a sudden, the energy's here, and our energy's here. So for me, we got to come in focused, and we got to have the energy just to know that, hey, we can do this thing. So that's me, y'all.
Okay, I got you. So at this part of the show, man, we're going to open up the floor for questions from our subscribers here. Again, Engraven Videos, check out his podcast. The podcast is dope. Hashtag keep it clean. He has shows pretty much every day. Anything that goes on with the Ravens, that is the place to go. Also, as well, man, tighten up, fans. We are here. Let's try to, make sure that we win this game. I want to add one last thing as well, too, before we get into questions. We're now available for our merchandise that we have online under Teespring, Tennessee Titans Weekly. We have everything from masks to hoodies to socks. I mean, you name it, we got it, right?
Hey, the socks, I'm getting. That Baxter paper mask, I'm getting.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you can also support that on Engraven Videos as well, too, as he has a shop as well on Teespring. So check it out, man. So we're looking at questions. Let's see what we got here, man. All right, so we have a lot of scores that's up here. Trevor Watts, 27-20 Baltimore. Okay. Weewo, 23-24, 17-14 Baltimore. Okay. So my boy LP asks, Rod Henry, keep feeding the king, keep Lamar on the bench watching. What do y'all think about that, man?
I mean, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, that if it's working, if it's one of those things where it's not broken, then no sense in fixing it. So if it's working for y'all, then yeah, it would only make sense to keep feeding them. I have, especially being a Ravens fan. I mean, speaking of the Titans, the game last year, like it was one of the most frustrating feelings because we went into that game and we will obviously had just won 12 straight games. And those 12 straight wins came off of the run game. Now, of course, Lamar had to do a lot of passing throughout, but our offense was based off the run game. It started with the run game. The run game was our strength. We broke like all these records that had been around for like 80-something years and whatnot. And the run game was just crazy. So they went into the Titans game, and with the running backs, they ran the ball between both running backs, six or 9 times? I think 9 times total. And it was just like, what? So they did the exact opposite of what we all expected them to do. And it was, like I said, it was just frustrating because the Ravens had done so well with the run game that they didn't even allow themselves to get into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, wow. So yeah, so what he said earlier, if it's working, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Yeah. Right. Hey man, there's some truth to that too. Because me and Jacques, when we watched the game, we saw that too. That you guys had Bernard Pierce had some success running the ball. We did see that. Mm-hmm. So Yeah.
But that was my thing too. Why go away from the run when you guys were there? And like Hawk said, we did see it. I was looking at the game. I said, if the Ravens would have kept running the ball,
yes,
literally, you guys would have been in the game. I said they would have just kept running the ball. They would have been fine.
Yep.
And that was a struggle. People don't realize the Titans' run game was not good last year. You see what I'm saying? And people never exploited that. Never took advantage of it. And this year, teams are kind of taking advantage of it a little bit now.
Yeah.
But last year, it wasn't like that.
That's right. And you're right, Trevor Watts, not Bernard Pierce. Not Bernard Pierce. Gus Edwards. I apologize. That is correct. That is right.
Yeah, because even in that game, Gus Edwards had, I think, 3 carries. And one of those carries went for like 18 yards.
Mm-hmm. Right. We saw
after that, never saw him again.
Never saw him again.
Oh,
That's right.
Man.
Yep. Al P. He said he ordered a master day. Al Pierce.
Shout out to Al
We
P.
appreciate it, sir.
Man.
We appreciate that, sir. Absolutely.
Jamison Meza says, don't understand why our corners are off the wide receivers by 10 yards per snap. So, Hawk, do you want to explain?
Don't either, man.
Being former DBs, so I can explain it. When you're off on receivers like that, that's you not trusting your speed, right?
Yep.
You know, hey, this guy's faster than me. Maybe I have a 10-yard head start. Let him get off the line. Hopefully, it's just a hitch route. Or maybe I'm in cover 2. Maybe I'm cover 3. It just all depends. But it really is a trust thing. And also the coaches as well. Coaches probably might not trust you. They might not trust your speed. Literally. Coach will tell me, hey, press, right? Well, if you got the technique to press, cool. Our corners, and I think preseason goes into that. Only corner on our team that really has a technique to press is Butler. I see Butler playing off 10 yards. I'm like, hey, that's not your game. Your game is to get in there and disrupt them off their route. What are you doing? That's telling me that that's a coaching decision saying, hey, play 10 yards off. Play 10 yards off. Give them some space. Give them the short ball, not the long ball. Give them the short ball. So if a lot of people want to understand why corners do that, it's a coaching call. Also, it's on you as well, not trusting your speed. Now, sometimes you just got to get up there and make a play. You gotta trust your safety behind you. It just is what it is. So
that makes sense.
Yep, it does. So let's see our next question here. Let's see here. So Jamison Meza says King Henry's about to go off because an angry king is no good for the Ravens defense. Well, yeah, he is angry. And Derrick Henry has some of the quietest 100-yard games that you'll ever see, right? He'll have a whole game. Next thing you know, he has 120 yards. Like, really? And to the point, let me tell you how spoiled Titan fans are. If Derrick Henry has like 105 yards or whatever, people will still say he had a bad game. It didn't like Derrick Henry didn't do that much, whatever. He's not breaking off these big runs. He still had 100 yards regardless, right? He's still number 2 in the league in rushing and could easily get that this week because he's only down like 50 yards. So Derrick Henry will play a vital role in this game. I do think Baltimore will stack the box. But Baltimore, again, as you stated, they have a lot of injuries. Calais Campbell, who we know very well, is out. Big Baby, the D tackle they call Big Baby, he's out. So, will Queen be ready to make those tackles at middle linebacker? The rookie, is he going to be ready? I don't think so. I think we're going to run pretty well against the Ravens. I do. Okay.
Well, I like what Trevor Watts said, and I didn't even realize that going into this game. He said it's King versus Queen.
Yeah,
that's it. I like that.
Wow.
That is that's dope.
That is.
And I don't know if you guys heard, they're going to start allowing Rashaan Evans to rush the passer.
Al P, tell him about it. Exactly. Yes. Hey, see that? Yes.
I brought this up. Me and Hawkins were having a conversation, and I said something that I'm observing with our defense is they're not playing. They don't look comfortable on defense. That's something that I've seen and I've noticed. They don't look comfortable. If everybody knows, Rashaan Evans rushed the passer when he was at Alabama. We watched the tape. He's very good at it. Why are you not exploiting that? Maybe he's not your traditional drop back running back. I mean, a linebacker where he has to get in there and cover because he's not good in coverage. He's supposed to stop the run, but hey, let him do what he does naturally, rush the passer. So I'm kind of excited to see what that brings. Do I think it'll help? No, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, Derrick Henry coming to town, INGRAVEN, this is what we should see.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Before we get started, I just want to introduce y'all. We got the NFL rushing leader. If anybody got a problem with that, you come see me. We bout that. Big trust. Whoop, whoop. King Henry in the flesh. Woo woo.
Had to throw that in there, man.
Hey,
Big
hold on.
trust.
And I know he's not even on y'all team. Well, didn't he
No.
get signed by the Vikings? And
Yeah,
then
he
got
did.
cut?
He did. He did. He
Yeah.
did. Yep.
And he got cut too, right?
I don't think he got cut. He's just not playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man. But,
Yep.
How's
Yeah.
Duvernay? How's Duvernay doing, Graven?
Duvernay has been frustrated. Nothing on Duvernay's part, but just on the coaching staff not getting him involved enough. He's been on the field a lot more and more as each week goes by. But they just got to get him involved a lot more. Don't just send him deep all the time. Like, get him involved in the short passing game, which they do a tiny bit. But we really waiting on that game, like that statement. Get like, oh, there goes Duvernay, because we seen him make some plays here and there. And he's been nice in the return game when he does get opportunities to return, because he's our kick returner. Right. But we just want to see him involved more in the passing game. And one thing, since we're speaking on that real quick, one thing that Lamar's been doing a lot better, especially over the past couple of weeks, has been spreading the ball around a lot more, getting a lot more receivers involved. I know, of course, Hollywood is a big focus, but he really hasn't been doing much lately. But Willie Snead has been stepping up a whole lot. So that's been a nice surprise, a very good surprise, and hopefully he can continue to do that. But yeah, with Devin Duvernay, we waiting on that game where it's like, all right, let's go Duvernay, we got it, and we waiting on it. So hopefully this is the week. That'd be nice.
Gotcha. I seen him play at Texas, man. His speed is crazy, man. If you use him right,
he's strong too.
Yes,
he's like a running back playing receiver.
Yeah.
So it's like, and this is where Greg Roman comes into play. I know Dean Pease had he retired from football when he was with the Ravens. Yeah. But then, and I mean, we all knew with Dean Pease, he was going to get let go. But he all of a sudden retired. Then he all of a sudden, oh, you know what? I got a job with the Titans. Let me unretire. So he unretired. And then, but one of our things with him on the Ravens was that he was not a bad defensive coordinator at all. Not at all. But he was situationally bad. In key situations in the game and clutch moments, that's where he was bad. So now with Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator, and I've said in a few videos that I feel like he is like the offensive version of Dean Pease, to where he's not a bad offensive coordinator, but situationally a lot of stuff is questionable. So hopefully he can turn some things around real soon, because I really do think that his seat is starting to warm up a lot, especially with all this national attention that he's been getting with his quotes versus Lamar's quotes and the interviews and all that stuff. So I think that seat is getting kind of warm.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I mean, who do you think is in the right and who you think is in the wrong?
I mean, it's just with these type of things. I think with Lamar, he is very blunt, and it seems like sometimes it seems like he's almost innocently blunt. Like he'll just answer the question that he's asked, but he won't sugarcoat or anything like that. And when he was on the Rich Eisen show talking about it, Rich Eisen asked him about, hey, what's going on with the offense? And Lamar was like, yeah. He just says the first thing that comes to his mind. And he doesn't. I don't think he really thinks the whole thing through. He just speaks whatever's on his mind, answers the question right away. Say, hey, these defenses, they calling our plays out. They know our plays. But he also did say in the Ravens presser that the play calling, it was a bit of an issue. So it's been like this back and forth. And then Greg Roman said, hey, well, sometimes Lamar, sometimes he's allowed to call the plays, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he can audible, and sometimes he can. And it's just been a little bit of back and forth. It just seems a tiny bit petty, but I mean, hopefully they can all come together and this thing can work out. But yeah, I do really think Greg Roman is on the hot seat.
Right. And speaking of Lamar Jackson,
we ticked off. Don't nobody like losing. I know none of you guys will like losing. Especially when we know we got a lot of talent on our team. We just got to regroup. Tuesday we go watch film on our opponents on Tennessee, and we're gonna build from there.
So as you stated, yes, he is being very blunt. Lamar's a very young guy.
Right.
He's only 23 years old. You know, I think a lot of people might not even realize that, right? He's still very young, and he's a very dynamic player. Again, best running quarterback that we've ever seen. And I'm including Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, and all those guys. And not to say that's all he does, because that's not the case. We've seen him throw the ball and things of that nature. I think what Baltimore should and could improve is the type of offense that they run. I think it's a very vanilla offense. I mean, he literally makes that one read to Mark Andrews. If it's not open, then he goes off. He'll just run. He might make a throw to Hollywood Brown, but you know, for the most part, that's their offense. And so for us as a defense, we're not as good as of a defense as we were last year. But this year, you know, it's a challenge for us against anybody right now. I don't have a lot of confidence in our defense, but hopefully we can make that up this game, man.
And it's almost similar to like the Greg Roman and the Lamar Jackson feud a little bit, where Mike Vrabel is being stubborn, not picking a defensive coordinator. I mean, literally, that's been our struggles the entire year. No leadership. Who's calling the plays? Vrabel saying, well, Bowen is calling the plays, and then all of a sudden you hear Vrabel's calling the plays. No, and then he says it's a collaboration. So that's what's really killing us, to the point where it's like you're going to be a detriment to this team if you don't do nothing about getting the defensive coordinator, at least next year, or having somebody else take the responsibilities. So, and Graven, I give the Ravens credit to this, and I give Greg Roman this. He was able to take Lamar and mold him, and I think that Harbaugh had a lot to do with that too, and play to his strengths. I think that's why y'all were able to continue to win like y'all been winning in the past 3-4 years. Is playing to Lamar's strengths, that RPO, run pass option. Hey, y'all went 14-2 with it last year. So I was like something amazing. It's like, hey, you don't see this too often where it does happen and it does happen to work. What happens when it doesn't work? You see what I'm saying? So now that's where I think the Ravens are hitting that wall. It's like, okay, they playing the blame game. Like, okay, well, I'm blaming it on you because you can't call the plays. Well, you're not calling the correct plays. I think Lamar has the ability to spread the ball out. I would like I said, he has the weapons to go deep. I mean, Duvernay and Hollywood, if you can like cook up something to where you can exploit that, you got it. But I think both teams right now are limping, and it's like which team is going to limp into the playoffs and which team can limp to at least try to get to the second round. Because with us, we got our problems, and I know y'all got y'all problems too. So this is gonna be a unique game, man. It's gonna be a real unique game.
It should definitely be a real good one. I wouldn't mind if there was a blowout and the Ravens won it, but I just don't see that being a blowout either way. Either way that the game goes, I just don't see it being a blowout. Of course, anything's possible, but man, these two teams they fighting. It's two physical teams, two teams that they like running the football, and it's just. It's gonna be a battle, man. It's gonna be.
It will be, man. And you know, this is a directional game. So whoever wins this game is probably going this way. Whoever loses this game is going this way. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's the odds are going to be on this game because you know the NFL knows this is is going to be a knuckle sandwich game. They're going to be fighting here. It's going to be a battle, and I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Okay, this was the game I had wanted to go to, man. This Ravens game in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And so, what do you guys feel if they're? Let's see, Ingraven. When do you guys play Pittsburgh again? LP.
Isn't
that next week?
We played Pittsburgh actually Thursday.
Yep. On a short week.
So short week. One physical game this Sunday. Another physical game right around the corner. Oh, and one thing that I just realized too, with our schedule.
Yes.
With our schedule, we you guys are coming off of that 10-day rest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, we are.
Had a nice long break. So that goes well in your favor.
Yes.
But now, with us, we play this game.
But that's why I mentioned energy earlier. Because of that 10-game rest. If you don't come out here and you don't have the energy after resting 10 games, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask y'all something real quick. And
yes.
King Isaac, you 1,000% right. I do agree, and either team can pull it off. This offseason, like me, I'm a huge Jadeveon Clowney fan. I had wanted the Ravens to get Jadeveon Clowney, and then when I was following that Jadeveon Clowney story like crazy because I was just hoping that something would come around and the Ravens would be able to get him. And then when I heard about the Ravens trying to do the sign and trade with the Saints, but the NFL shut it down, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah,
we could have had him, but I know he's been quiet on the
Yes.
stat sheet. But I haven't gotten to watch every single Titans game. I watched a couple. I watched a lot of the first one. I think week 1 y'all played the Broncos, I believe. On Monday Night Football, right?
Yep.
And then I watched the Steelers one too. And I watched some of the game against the Colts. What was that, last week or the week before last? Whenever
that was
it
last week.
Okay. But so I see him and I still see he's been disruptive, but he just I guess he's not showing up on the stat sheet at sacks wise. But overall, how has he been doing?
Well, right now, Clowney's been playing like this. So I would say this, man, like just like Ngukwe there, he's been traded from the Jags to the Vikings, now the Ravens. And Clowney is showing a lot of activity. But I've been telling Jacques, and I've been saying on this show, I think Clowney's out of position. I think, we're putting him in a 3-4 situation where he's playing outside linebacker. It's difficult being 6'6" and you're a linebacker. That doesn't even make sense, right? That's like putting a 7-foot player at point guard. It doesn't make sense. Put him down where he's supposed to be on the 4-3. Put him as a defensive end, putting his fingers to the ground, getting after the quarterback. There are times that Clowney has been playing inside linebacker. I see him guarding receivers. I'm like, that's not what he does. I think if more than anything, he's just out of position. He brings activity. He brings energy. He's trying. And then he's unlike Vic Beasley, who we released a few weeks ago. He wasn't even trying. Jadeveon does try. There's no stats to show behind that. But I think there might be a game or so where he might get to where he needs to be. This could be the game if he spies Lamar Jackson. This could be a possibility. But we need him down as a 4-3 defensive end. I think that's been his biggest issue, man.
And man, that Vic Beasley story was just a mess from the jump. Because I remember reading that when they were first doing he didn't show up to the camp or whatever it was. He didn't show up for like 2 days, and he didn't even like call in to work anything. It was just a no call, no show.
Right.
I thought he was gonna be out of there then.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, Titans getting ready to get rid of him, but
exactly. Yeah, man. Yep.
So now, I mean, Hawk said it, man. I mean, literally, he's been disruptive at times, and something about him, he hasn't been able to finish plays. I mean, there was a couple of plays where he's in the backfield, he has the quarterback, and the quarterback slips out, or he has the running back, and the running back slips out. So I think with him, Hawk said it the best. He's playing out of position. I think that's our entire defense, in my opinion, is they're playing out of position. So that includes Clowney, that includes everybody on that defense except Big Jeff, because Big Jeff is a disruptor and he's crazy. But with Clowney, he's a hands in the dirt guy, and when you allow him to rush the passer, you see him get pressure on the quarterback, and that's when he succeeds. He's just not getting no sacks. So
yeah, correct. Z-Cab, he says, in my opinion, for the Ravens to win, the defense is the biggest key. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big difference. Yeah.
Yep. Fabian, our Baltimore offense staying on the field, keeping Henry on the sideline. So that's been a common thread here. I see.
Yeah.
Titan Tiger. I know it all. Raven fans today wanted to back off $100 bet. Go Titans, tighten up. Tell that guy you talking to, tighten up. LP agreed on Clowney putting his hand. Exactly. That's what needs to happen. You know what I mean? It really does. So, Comic God, tighten up. What's going on, guys? What's up, man? So, question for you, Engraven, and also for the subscribers here. Okay. Again, at the end of the day, after Sunday, there has to be a winner. So as far as the game itself, as far as the score, as far as who's going to win or lose this game, who do you feel will win this game, and as to why they should win this game? And subscribers as well. Click the like button. Subscribe if you have not subscribed before as well. You put down who will win this football game.
Like somebody mentioned earlier, this game could go either way, and like literally either way that this game goes, it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like the Ravens will barely win. I feel like it's going to be an extremely close game throughout. I could see it being as close as like that Steelers and Titans game from a couple of weeks ago when y'all just that was a crazy one. Yes. But I think Ravens will barely edge it out. But I do think the offense this week, a lot is going to rely on them because the defense. The run defense is like they're hurt right now. They banged up, they bruised up. We got 2 defensive linemen out, like we talked about. We got a linebacker he's been out the past 2 weeks, and hopefully he'll come back. That's LJ Fort. But in this game, I think all the pressure that's on Greg Roman, I think he's almost forced to call his best game of the year because the Ravens need it. They know that this is not, it's obviously not a playoff game, but it can have playoff implications. That playoff race, all these 6-3 teams are so tight right now. Like, who would have thought, like, I thought they were like still a year off, but who would have thought like right now at this point of the season, we would even be talking about the Dolphins possibly even being in the playoffs.
I know, man. I know.
So it's close, man. Even with it being 7 teams that can get in the playoffs now, which I don't like. I wish they would have left it at 6, but whatever. Each game counts that much more now. Like, this is the second half of the season, and it's time to get the ship right. It's time to fix everything. And so I say Ravens in the score. I will go 24-22.
24-22. Okay. All right. Jacques, holler at us. What's your thoughts on this, sir? And I'm keeping score, by the way, right now from the comments. Hit the like button. Two Tone Zone. What's going on? Check their podcast out as well on YouTube. Right now it's 2-2. So as far, and then if we add Engravens, actually it's 3-2 Ravens.
Okay. So we did our prediction show early in the summertime, and we had us losing this game. And I'm sticking with it. Okay. With the energy that we came off of last week when we played the Colts, that 10-day rest, we still don't have a Dory. He's still out.
Yep.
And just a couple of injuries from Humphreys not being injured and the offense not clicking how it's been clicking. This is a game where we're going to have to rely on Tannehill again. Now, the run might be there, but Derrick Henry, got 100 yards last week and we still lost the game, right? Special teams hasn't been clicking. Something that tell me where the Titans are not trying to win and they're not trying to get to the playoffs or the Super Bowl is by signing Trevor Daniels, okay, to the team. He should have been gone when he kicked a 15-yard punt, a 17-yard punt. He should have been gone, literally. I mean, he should have been gone that same night. Literally. I mean,
right. Yeah, you ain't no Trevor Daniels fan, man.
Hey, he should have been gone. So when I see little small things like that not being corrected, then we have a problem. Of course, Vrabel and Shane Bowen still calling the defense. And this is a game, like I said, you don't want Lamar to go off. You don't want it to happen. So, like I said, I'm sticking to my original prediction, which was 11-5, and I had us losing this game. I don't have us losing this game as bad as we lost last week, which I hope we don't. But I have us at least a close game. And I had I think on your video, Graven, I think I had us 24-17. I think I'm sticking with 24-17. So for me, 24-17 Ravens. Now, I'm going to say bounce back next week when we needed to bounce back, and we need that big bounce back. But I just right now, the Titans have to show me, and they have to show me what they're working with, and just in the head offense and Vrabel and them are not just doing it, man. But like I said, that really ticked me off, man, when they brought back Trevor Daniel. And if he messes up this game, and we know they're sticking with Gostkowski, so we know how he's been doing. So we just got to ride the wave. So if you want to ride the wave and not get to the playoffs, we have a lot of ticked off Titans fans. So for me, I got the Ravens, man.
Okay. So I would say this, my input on this, Cole Chatterton, he has the Titans. Right now we have 7-3 Ravens right now, based on those that have voted upon this game. For those who have not, put your score down as to who you think will win this football game. I'm tallying it now. Jameson's got Titans getting okay. All right, so we got one for the Titans. So for me, now again, as a Titan fan, as a Titan supporter, I could always say the Titans should win every game, right? But that's just not being real, right? That's not being honest. You have to look at it, you got to look at it from an optimistic standpoint, of course, but I got to look at it realistically. And so looking at the game, right now our special teams are struggling. And as I mentioned early in the show, our defense has been very inconsistent. Even our offense has kind of fallen just a little bit here lately. But I think of anything, Baltimore is going to come in pissed off.
Yep.
Okay. They were mad of how they played last week against the Patriots. The Ravens are also pissed off of what happened last year. Come on, folks. 14-2 they were last year, right? They were the profound favorite to beat the Titans in Baltimore, and we ended their season prematurely. Those guys were pissed off. And I've always mentioned, I felt the Ravens drafted to beat the Titans. And those guys are Patrick Queen, you got Duvernay, you got guys with size, right? Because I felt that we physically beat the Ravens last year. So I think right now, just based on emotion, where our emotion might not be in it versus the Ravens. We'll have it versus the Colts, though, folks. But the Ravens have that against us. They got heat for us. They got a lot of smoke right now. So I'm going to say right now, I think the Titans might lose this game. I'm going to say 24-20. I think it'll be a very close game. I think a turnover might do it or a special teams blunder. And I'm going to tell you something. If Chase Daniel kicks another 15 to 17-yard punt, I'm not watching the game.
Hey,
I'm cutting the game off. there can't be a post game because I'm not going to watch. I'm going to be that pissed off if our special teams flutters like that. So I'm going to say the Titans with the win here, man. I mean, the Ravens with the win. I apologize.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, man.
It's. I mean, like you said, we bleed blue. We Titans fans, but just realistically, it all ties in together. It all comes back full circle. Energy.
Yep.
The Ravens are ticked off, like you said from last week. And shout out to the Ravens for beating the Colts as well. So we really appreciate that also. So we really do appreciate that. I mean, the blueprint, I looked at the Ravens and Colts game and I said, okay, that's the blueprint to beat the Colts. The Ravens did it. I know it was off of one play when Lamar ran around the outside and ran a touchdown. I was like, okay, hey, we got a shot, right? The Ravens were able to beat them. But how we blundered and looked last week, I was like, oh my God. We reverted back to the old Titans. So I just right now, confidence-wise and just what our front office is doing, I don't like it. And it's if Vrabel keeps doing the things he's doing, we're gonna put him on the Mount Rushmore with Ken Wisenhunt. And Ingraven, if you don't know, the Titans fandom couldn't stand Ken Wisenhunt as a coach, man. Couldn't stand him. So Vrabel is a stubborn coach. Hawk has always said he coaches like a player, which is true. He's very emotional. He's had some good and he's had his bad, but right now we're starting to see the bad. And I guess they're trying to build that confidence in Daniels and trying to give him the confidence saying, hey, we know what you can do in practice. Take what you can do in practice and let's utilize it on the field. But I don't care what you did in practice. I want to see what you did in the game. What counts in games is what counts for me, not what you do in practice. So Titans fans, don't be mad.
Well, I give the props to the Titan fans. They're being realistic as well, too. Right. I mean, they're 12-8 right now. Ravens up top right now. So yeah, man. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, man, we kindly appreciate everybody joining in on the show. Please make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button as well. Ingraven, if you want to, send us a special shout out for your show.
Plug it up, man.
Hey, Again, thank y'all for having me on here too, man. Again, my channel is INGRAVEN VIDS. Y'all are more than welcome to stop by, subscribe to it if you want to. And again, like I said, I'm a Ravens fan, but we talk football on there, period. Got a lot of love for the game of football itself. Just we show respect to other teams. We show respect to other fans of other teams. It's for everybody. So if you want to come on there, even if you come on there and talk your trash, that's fine. But we just keep it respectful. We don't get personal with it or anything like that. We have a good time on there. So like I said, team Keep It Clean. I know a lot of Team Keep It Clean came through tonight, so I appreciate y'all. But if y'all want to come be part of Team Keep It Clean, subscribe.
Hey,
absolutely, man.
Titan fans, check him out, man.
Check him out.
Great guy, great channel. And like you said, he talks football. So, and you know how we feel about the Ravens, but if I got one Ravens podcast, hey, INGRAVEN, you're a solid dude, man, and we really appreciate you coming on to Tennessee Titans Weekly, man. And if we get to the playoffs, man, you got to come do it again, definitely, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, we kindly appreciate you being on our show, man, and as well for those, we did a show with him on his show as well. So when you go check his podcast out, we got a video with him as well. Again, you want to know about the Ravens, check them out. Right. So yes, sir. So yeah. So for us as well, if you want to check us out, as always, on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly, as well on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. You can also email us at TennesseeTitansWeekly@gmail.com.
And as I say every show, man, like, share, subscribe. Also, turn your notification bells on by the subscribe button. It literally tells you when we go live, when we post any content. Also, subscribe to INGRAVEN's channel as well. But hey, like I say this all the time, share the video. It puts us in the YouTube algorithm. It gets the video out there. Tell your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your dog, your cat, your roach. Tell everybody.
Absolutely, man. So once again, thank you all for joining the show. We'll have the post game come Sunday, hopefully with the victory. Hopefully we're wrong, right? All three of us, hopefully. And we we will definitely see you guys then, man. Hey, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up.
Facts. No paper.